Hello, plant community. Thanks for tuning into Full of Foliage. Pam's here creating a safe space, showing lots of grace, sharing a lot of plant care, plant hauls, planty crafts, and the occasional shopping trips. Join me so that we can become planty friends, have fun, and possibly learn and grow. Hey guys, if you haven't noticed already, I love creating an indoor jungle. And if you're watching this video, you do too. But one of the things that I did notice throughout my plant journey, and this would probably fall for anybody, whether you're in the beginning, middle, almost tapering off and saying, my collection is full. One can actually admit to themselves, although it's very beautiful, lush, and greenery, that this hobby can become quite expensive. And so what I do, you guys, as you see me come along my plant journey, I do little thrifting, I do like craft, anything that I can create or style to give the indoor jungle without actually breaking the bank. And that even applies to my plants. Now, I did give y'all guys like a maximum amount of money that I am willing to pay for a plant, but there are a lot of plants in my collection that has been cheap and that I consider cheap anyway. So in today's video, you guys, we are going to go over a few plants that will create that jungle vibe on a budget. And all these plants that I'm about to share with you guys are really been $20 and below. So I think these are good options to start out with, especially if you're one that's saying, which way should I go as far as creating a jungle vibe. So these are just going to more or less just give you an idea. So if this is something that you're interested in, please show your support by giving thumbs up, subscribing as always. Also comment, because I love reading your thoughts. So yeah, let's just dive right in. Now, before I get into the show and tell aspect of this video, I do want to pay honorable mention to the two P's, pothos and philodendrons, because they are not on this list. And I felt like not putting them on the list because usually a lot of people already talk about them as far as being easy care and also affordable. So let's talk briefly about pothos. Pothos, I believe, is that classic. Both of them really is a classic plant that grows full and lush and doesn't break the bank. So for pothos, it would be maybe the all green variety. I've seen pothos pearls and jade, as well as enjoy if you want a splash of color. That's been pretty much in big box shops, maybe I believe under 20 bucks. I have not yet seen the mandula, although I feel like the price is coming down with that mandula. So if you're looking for one, I recommend you guys being patient because the prices are coming down there. Now, of course, with philodendrons, you have the heartleaf philodendrons. I believe the micans is now at a very reasonable price. I love my lemon lime. So there's a plethora of variety out there that one can choose, and is that classic style is the first thing to go to. So I couldn't really do the video without making a mention, but they're not part of the show and tell. Now, my very first plant that I do want to show you guys that I feel is very, this really creates the jungle vibe, is this mistletoe cactus, or the Ripsalis pilocarpa, I believe is the scientific name, you guys. And this is actually a cutting, well, not actually a cutting, more like a snapping of the mother plant. The mother plant is actually behind you guys, hanging. I just didn't want to take her down, and to sit her on this table would be too much of a chore. So I decided to just grab this one, which I have actually also growing in here on one of my floating shelves. So on the mother plant, I snapped, or a piece fell off or something like that, and I propagated her into this soil. And then since then, and that's been well over a year ago, and so it was a very tiny piece, and so she has given me a lot of hanging, even though she's not very full up at the top. This is a plant that I would recommend you getting because it does give you a beautiful little subtlety of fuzzy whiteness. And I mean, honestly, the way that it's hanging, you can't tell me that it doesn't give you a jungle vibe, as well as texture. This pretty much just check off the box. And I want to say when I brought this, now granted, I did buy this plant a few years back. When I brought it, I think it was between $15 to $16, and it could have been a sale. But I do believe that you can get some other types of ripsalises, not necessarily this mistletoe one, but there's other types that are now coming down in price as well. Lately, you guys, I've been on this Hoya kick, and I know I've been Hoying y'all to death, and I do apologize for that, but that's part of my plant journey, and I really do love Hoya. So I do have one that I wanted to showcase. I didn't want to do a deep dive in it because, like I said, these past videos you guys been seeing has been really dedicated to Hoyas, but I felt like this was a very affordable plant, and it also gives you that balance of if you like that succulent type look. And I'm just going to show you, and it is, I actually drew a complete blank with this Hoya. Can you believe that? Shame on me. But I figured it out. And this is my Hoya patchclada, you guys. And I put this plant on the list because I paid initially I want to say $14.99 or something like that for this plant. Of course, when I brought it up about 2 years ago, it was kind of like just a couple of leaves right here. I love the way that I have it growing. I don't want to put her on a trellis or anything like that. Her tendrils is just a little bit too thick, but the leaf structure is very thick, like a succulent. It can almost give you obtusifolia vibes, but this Hoya is a moderate grower. I wouldn't say a super fast grower, but she has grown steady in my collection. And look at it, look at that, you guys. This is also very unique, and see how different shapes and textures really can quickly add to the jungle vibe. And this is one that didn't break the bank as well. Next plant, begonias. This is my Begonia Go Glow. I've had her in my collection for almost going on 4 years. This was gifted by my hubby, but he did pay, he got this from, well, this was actually from a big box shop. I want to say possibly Home Depot, and this was also something that was around like 16 or 17 bucks. I strongly recommend if you don't have this one. Now, although I've had her for a few years, when I initially got the plant or received the plant, a lot of her leaves kind of looked like this one, which almost gave you like a batik vibe, but I know that it's not that. And so now it's just giving me just these kind of colors here and there. It's very subtle. She's getting light, but mainly a lot of artificial lighting. But as you can see, she's super fast grower. I've chopped her and propagated her several times. You have to be up on your watering with this plant, however, because you will get crispiness of the leaves. She loves what I'm doing because, like I said, she's grown tall for me. And I just noticed when I pulled her away from her location to share with you guys that she even got roots growing out of the pot. Not sure if I'm going to repot her or not. I'll have to think about it. However, I think I did have her in this planter for at least 2 years now, so maybe it's time. But I really kind of like her in this pot, I'm not gonna lie. But guys, isn't that beautiful? Like it. So if you want something that's green and subtle, and you can also have it growing up, I just have like a bamboo stake in it, and I have clips on it so she can grow up. That's just my aesthetic. Depending on the actual Syngonium, I'm not a real fan of having them trail down. I think sometimes they can look a little wild and a little messy for me. So, but I really like growing them this way, and I just think that really adds to your jungle vibe. And I'm not sure, did I say Begonia? I think I meant to say Syngonium. So, or did I? I can't even remember. I don't know what's going on with my brain today. I feel like I'm having like a little shutdown right in front of the camera. But yeah, this is Syngonium Go Glow, if I didn't say that. Okay, now my next one, I'm definitely not going to forget her name because she is definitely a beauty. This plant right here, I know I got from a big box shop, Lowe's, I believe. It was the only one that they had. I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm going to get it. And this is a lipstick plant, Syngonium Mona Lisa. This plant, you guys, is a beauty. Oh my goodness. Look at this. She is growing a lot of the lipsticks. I mean, it's just, she is just blooms all over the plant. And this is actually my first time where she's given me multiple blooms. Honestly, she's bloomed for me several times before, but it'd just be maybe like one cluster like here and that's it. But this is the first time that she's actually given me all these beautiful red blooms all at the same time. And I mean, she even has some right here. So as you can see, she's very beautiful. And one just fell off. One of the lipsticks just fell off when I picked this plant up. Let's see if I can show y'all exactly. So fuzzy and soft. I can't even see that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So yeah, with that red and this green, and she's so full and lush, even up at the top. This plant, I can honestly say, she's been a very vigorous grower for me. As you can see, she is constantly shooting up at the top. Because she's a vigorous grower, I do have to make sure that I stay on top of my watering with her, especially so that her leaves won't fall, and especially since she has so many blooms, I'm definitely making sure that she stays pretty much well watered. I almost feel like I need to give her water again because her soil gets dry really quickly, which also could be a sign that I may need to repot her as well. I kind of don't want to because I love the way that she's growing here. But again, this was a plant that I spent under 20 bucks. And she's a fast grower. I've had her in my collection, I want to say almost 2 years now, growing strong and healthy and giving me that jungle vibe. This other plant that I'm about to show you guys is actually Peperomia. Now you would think I would have talked about this beautiful Peperomia Hope. Honestly, you guys, I've had her like really in the beginning of my plant journey, and I don't remember how much I paid for her. But I don't think she was pricey. She could have been slightly over 20 bucks, so I don't know. So I didn't want to put her on a list because I wasn't for certain. But this one, I definitely remember spending $15 for her. And I do remember I got this one from Gabriella Plants. And I've had her in my collection for about like 2 years or so. And if you want something with texture, oh my goodness, this is the plant to go with. And this is my Peperomia Incana, you guys. Oh my goodness, she is a fast grower. And I just want to show y'all, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now this is the oldest leaf, but she's still firm and strong, so I didn't want to cut it off. So the lower leaf right here, along with this one, have like a subtle, maybe color change. This one might as well, but outside of that, the rest of the leaves are, as you can see, beautiful and green, and of course they have this beautiful fuzzy soft texture. When you see the light, you can see the sheen on the leaves. It's so beautiful. Even the stem itself is kind of fuzzy. I wanted to grow her in a unique, different way. Instead of having, it's 2 vines, I just decided to put her on this like makeshift trellis. And I really like the way that I did her. Although I put her on the trellis, you guys, and she started growing this so fast. I don't even know if I want to wound her again. I probably could. I feel like I'm a wrist snapping the leaves, the vine, and I kind of don't want to. So it's actually a total of 3 vines in the pot. I don't know if I grab her. Let's see. A little scary. Or maybe I can try to clamp her some kind of way, because she's getting too tall. This part is getting too tall. I feel like she's going to wind up snapping anyway. So, and then this one right here, I don't know, this plant is very beautiful. I love the way that I have it displayed. It's in this little plastic pot, cute little plastic pot that I got at the dollar store. And yeah, I've already repotted her, and she just started, like, she's been a fast grower for me. She's very rewarding to grow. You guys, like I said, I would definitely recommend this one. I paid $14.99. I'm almost certain 14. It was like $14.99. It had to be $15 at Gabriella Planters. Almost, if not $14.99, I know it's 12, maybe $12.99. I'm almost leaning more towards the $12.99. Again, this was like this was a while back, at least 2 years ago, so I can't really remember. But and I think one of you guys actually recommended me buying this plant, and I'm so glad I did, because outside of all the other peperomias, some of them are very challenging, but her, along with my hope, they have been very rewarding to grow, and I'm glad I have her in a collection. I highly recommend her, you guys. She gives you that wild vibe, as you can see. You can actually have her trailing down. It's just that because the way she's set up in this pot, I didn't want to have her trailing down. I just think that it looks so much better with her on this makeshift trellis. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this plant, your thoughts on that. But very beautiful plant. Now this last one is a begonia, you guys, and this one I did get from Steve's Leaves, and I don't know if 14 is the magic number for this video, but I want to say I did spend like no more than $15 for this plant. And this is the Begonia Steve's Leaves Serge Maggot Q. Y'all see the name on here? Is it focusing? I don't even think it's going to focus. I apologize for that. But she is also a fast grower. This plant is gorgeous, you guys. You want color? Man, you got it. Look at the back. The back is that dark, rich maroon. The front is almost like so dark it almost can look iridescent black. This is the second time that she has flowered for me, which was amazing, honestly. The bloom, the first time she bloomed, it stayed on there for months before it finally dropped off. And I honestly thought that maybe I wasn't going to get another bloom, because that's what my maculata did. It bloomed for me a few years back, and I have yet to see a bloom. So imagine my surprise when I saw that she was blooming again. And look at the blooms. It's absolutely gorgeous. You see the different color, the cream, you see some yellow, and then I guess the leaves itself is kind of like very peachy. And I just think that it just gives off a beautiful aesthetic, a beautiful jungle vibe. Look at this. If you had, just for comparison, you guys, you got something dark that doesn't seem so showy. Well, something light that doesn't seem so showy with something dark, and then it has that beautiful bloom. I do believe that creates a beautiful foliage experience. Again, I haven't propagated her or anything like that. Really, I feel like I don't need to. You see how full she is? So unless she starts declining or something, I have her growing in here. I really wouldn't have her growing inside my home. I don't think some of my begonias do very well outside of the sunroom, or the environment that I'm giving them in here is just S tier compared to my home. One thing that I did notice that was kind of cute is she has little freckles. I would call them, because these little leaves right here is the only leaves that have the little dots on there. So I don't know if this plant is supposed to have those splashes on there or not. As you can see, the majority of the plant does not, but it's a very interesting, unique growth. Like, it just, you know, something almost looks like the maculata. I'm not sure, but this is a very beautiful plant. So if you're into dark leaves and you love those red backs like I do, oh man, that's awesome. I definitely recommend this plant, and it won't break the bank. Now, those are pretty much all the plants that I had to show you guys that I felt that was actually in the budget. One plant species that I found surprisingly that could not be made on this list, and y'all share your comments and let me know your thoughts behind this particular category, is aglaonemas. I think right now in this current plant climate that we are in, aglaonemas have done a flip. In previous years, and I say back in like 21, 22, I've seen aglaonemas. Now, of course, not exotic varieties of aglaonemas, but I used to see at least the green with the red outer backs at big box stores, and they were reasonably priced. I might see like a little white stem one every once in a while at a big box store, but I haven't really seen aglaonemas like a plethora of different varieties there. But what I have noticed is now with these new upcoming name changes, Etta Roses and all of that stuff, they are pretty pricey. They're not below 20 bucks, at least in my neck of the woods. So y'all let me know if you've come across affordable aglaonemas, and if so, where. Share with the plant community, because that is another low maintenance, I guess that's what they say, low maintenance care, easy care plant. I have a very small collection. There's certain ones that I'm able to grow in my home, and there are certain ones that just die on me. I don't know why. But for those of you who are able to grow aglaonemas well until its fullest potential, you can share with the plant community as far as whether or not, if you feel that they are cheap or inexpensive, if you felt like you brought a lot that's under 20 bucks, I feel like they're not really under that 20 bucks range. At best, maybe 25, 30, even $35, and maybe up depending on the variety type. But yeah. But anyway, this ends this video, you guys. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planty things, don't forget to subscribe to this channel again, like I mentioned before, and keep pushing those thumbs up, up, and up. It really has been helping out my channel. Thank you so much for your support. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, and until next time, guys, much love. Bye.